Hi guys, welcome you guys back to another Britmas. As usual, please ignore my voice. It's doing weird things and they are building the house next door, they're building the house across the street, so there's very possible to get some noise. Today we are here to talk about books and series that I want to read because of Booktube, but that I hope does not let me down like other books that Booktube told me to read. No, that will not be the title, but let's start. Welcome to 25 Days of Britmas. As usual, this is in no particular order. I'm just, like when I thought about it, I was like, oh yeah, that's definitely hyped on Booktube. And obviously the first one I'm talking about is the Ember and the Ashes series by Saba Tahir. I bought the Fairy Loot edition of these books. They're absolutely stunning. They belong on my series shelf. Those who don't know, this particular shelf back there, that is my shelf for series by, other people. The middle shelves are black, but the two side ones, they have purposes as well. But this is my fantasy series shelf, and she only has enough to fill up 2 of the 5 shelves. So I did buy the Ember and the Ashes series. Is this going to be a series that just sits on my shelf and looks pretty? I don't know, but I'm really hoping that it lives up to the expectations. I know the 4th and final book finally came out this year, so I'm one of those people where if I can withstand it and wait, I will wait and then read it all together so that I don't have to wait for the next book to come out. I have been reading a lot of books as they've been coming out lately, and it's been driving me crazy how long I have to wait for these books. I'm like, I can't do this. So now that the Ember and the Ashes series has come out, finished, when I get my books, I will be reading them. Another book that's actually on my TBR, but I have not gotten to yet, is The Black Sun by Rebecca Roanhorse. Rebecca Roanhorse wrote the book The Trail of Lightning. So I am aware of their writing already. But I saw this on Book Twitter, lit up. There were a lot of people on Book Twitter that really loved this book, and it just made me want to, it was like, okay, everybody really likes it, so cool. Also, please ignore the lighting. It's raining, so we're doing a lot today. I just really need to get this done today, guys. But yeah, I'm excited to read that series. I'm hoping that it lives up to the hype, because it don't always work that way, but I want this book to do well. So yeah. The next series that I want to read is the Iron Face series by Julie Kagawa. Now this one, I'm not going to necessarily say that Booktube made me want to read it. Y'all know that I really like the Shadow of the Fox series, and Julie has, what's the word I'm looking for? Julie Kagawa has a new book series coming out that is in the world of the Iron Fae. So I'm trying to look it up so I can show you guys. So the new book that Julie Kagawa has coming out is The Iron Raven. It's the Iron Fae Evenfall #1. So I kind of feel like I need to read the Iron Fae series first. I don't really know if it's one of those where you have to read the old series to get the new one, but I just figured now would be a perfect time to see if I like more of Julie Kagawa's writing. So why not? I'm going to try it. I don't even really know what it's about. I read the premise for the first book, and then it was like, this is the character from this and this. And I was like, okay, I might need to go read the Iron Fae first. The next book on my list, I know I'm going to get a side eye because I have yet to finish it. I got it from the library, started reading it, had to return it back to the library because the wait list for so long. And I got back on the wait list. And when I got back on the wait list, I was number 62 or 63. And I checked recently, and I think I'm only at 32. And that is The City We Became by N.K. Jemisin. Now, the reason that I didn't go ahead and just outright buy this book is because I couldn't decide if I wanted it hardback or paperback, because I've noticed that some of N.K. Jemisin's paperback covers are really gorgeous. So I've just been trying to decide, because I don't own any N.K. Jemisin books, but I've read N.K. Jemisin. So that also leads to the next series, which is the Broken Earth Trilogy. I have actually never finished that series. I need to. So what I'm actually going to do is restart the whole series from the first book, and basically at some point we're going to have an N.K. Jemisin month of me just reading her with like some fluff added in there, like in between. But yeah, those are two that I really need to get to, that I'm hoping to get to in 2021. The next series that I want to get into, that I have the first book on my shelf. It's the Ishkari series by Christina Cicerelli. To be honest, I saw the cover of this book when I was at a bookstore, a local bookstore, and I just thought it was pretty, so I bought it. I don't really think anything of it, but I don't know who I was watching on Booktube one day, and they were talking about the first book, and it actually caught my attention. I've just yet to get to it, because like, you know, one second I want to read like what's new and what's popping, and then the next second I kind of just want to go back to the old ways, where it's like I get the new book so the authors can get the support they deserve, but like they don't get read right away. So who knows, but that's on the list. Okay, that's just on the list. Needless to say, I will at least read the first book of all of these series to determine whether or not I want to keep going. Except for the Ember and the Ashes. I will finish that because I bought the books. Yeah, and I'm not getting rid of them. They're pretty. Yeah. The next series that I want to read is Because of Noria. Boo. It's Gideon the Ninth, the Locked Tomb series. The cover is dope. Immediately, that's all I know. Noria loved it. Noria said it was dark and gritty, and she and I have a love for like gruesome war, violence, bloody fights. We have that kind of shared interest. So when I saw Noria getting hyped about this book, and when we were chatting one day, she was hyped about that book, and I'm like, all right, we're gonna add that to the series. No, I don't really know what it's about. I haven't even really looked it up, but I will be trying to add that to my TBR starting in the beginning of the new year. Another book series that I have been interested in, I just have not sat down to start reading it, is the Crown of Feathers series. I got the first book in an Owl Crate, and then the second book, I also ordered it from Owl Crate because I wanted them to match. And at this point, I'm like, why haven't I read it? Like, it's Phoenix, chicks, flying. Like, what am I missing? I don't know, but like this is what I want as well. Like, the last series that I would like to read is the Witchland series. This is a series that I was told by Amber Dior to read a while back because she wanted to talk about it. And I'm not gonna lie, the covers have always had me interested. This is Susan Denard, I think. I'm very interested in it. The premise seems okay. So I am eventually going to start that book as well. It's basically just me, like, I get to this point, like this year rather, I expected to read a lot more. Like I said, in my top and least reads videos, I only read 30 something books. I do that normally in like 2 or 3 months, you know? So it's been very interesting. The dynamic shift of my reading habits, especially how it affects my channel and things like that. So, I hope that next year I will not be setting any reading goals. Obviously, I don't do that anymore. The traditional way, what I hope is to add more variety to my reading. I think that this year I want to look for neurodivergent main characters, not side characters. I want to look for, obviously, I love reading female heroine stories, and that's something I'm going to keep going into. I want to dive into some more historical fiction authors, because I have a couple staples that I stand by, but I want to venture into other authors, because I do really enjoy historical fiction. Historical fiction is the only place where we can do like sappy romances and all that stuff, and I have no problem with it because it's historical fiction. I want to dip in further into adult fantasy. I have some adult fantasies that I'm interested in trying, but I will be sharing that video with you guys in January. I have the desire to continue. So in the beginning of this year, I had a desire to read one nonfiction book a month that was helpful towards my business. And I still have those books. Like, I still have that stack of books that I planned on reading this year that I did not. So I will be trying to get back into that. Like I said, the first 2 books that I read were very impactful to me. So I'm hoping that these next books that were recommended by other entrepreneurs are also as enlightening. And I hope that we can talk about it. With that being said, don't forget that the Melanin Eclectic Patreon will be starting back up in January. If you are a patron already, I suggest that you keep a lookout, because I will be trying to send a newsletter out explaining some things that I'm changing so we can have a better experience. And yeah, we'll be talking about channel goals and stuff later. So as usual, thank you guys so much for checking out my channel. And until tomorrow's Britmas, bye.